Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Stellaris modding tutorial. And today we're continuing our custom Leviathans modding tutorial series. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to create your own ship designs, but also how to define them and to set them up through code. So it's going to be a bit of a complicated tutorial, so I highly recommend you have a piece of paper or some way to create a list, because things might be a little bit interesting. But with that out of the way, let's get started. Before we begin, the first thing you need to do is set up a few files. Here we are in our top mod folder, and in common, you will need a global ship design, and inside you will need a txt file. I've just named it custom leviathans _ ship design. You will need a section templates and then a file in there. I've just done the same naming convention except for section templates, and then ship sizes, custom leviathans ship sizes. And that should be it for common. These three things will each help contribute to what is called a global ship design, which is just a ship design that pretty much anyone can use in the game. These are ones that are like set, so like you can custom design your own corvettes and destroyers, but these are things that will remain the same throughout the game. So there's there's global ship designs for like every Leviathan, Fallen Empire ships, etc., etc. So that's what you need in the common folder, but we'll also need a GFX folder, models, ships, and then I like to put my own file, and everything will be a GFX file. The best way to do this is to create a new file and then change it to a .asset file, but we will go over all that in a moment. The first thing we need is under the ship sizes, and we have custom Leviathan 01, and we'll just go through. So this will be all the localization key for your custom Leviathan and everything else. So is a space object? Yes. Is graphical culture? No. I'm actually going to set that up because the graphical culture should be handled through the entity, and we will do entity Fallen Empire 01 Titan entity. This is just the Titan entity in the game that we've been using, and we'll go more into that in another tutorial, but all in-game asset files are found in Stellaris GFX models. Can be inspected? No, and it's using sensors. Can you see the setup of the ship? Max speed at very fast. These has been predefined, but you can use any integer that you want. Acceleration, this is just how fast the ship can go to its fastest speed. Rotation speed, this is just how fast it rotates. I'm not sure exactly if this is degrees per tick. It's got to be more than that though. But yeah, these are just for like graphical things. Collision radius 7, and this is just how far away other ships will be from the model, and it keeps the models from clipping. Modifiers, these are just modifiers to the ship that affect a few of its stats. So like ship shield add 100,000, ship armor add 100,000. This just makes it, well, allows you to change things on the game or on the ship. And this is the one that's the most important. This is the hit points. So I have it set to 150,000. So this is how many hit points the ship has. So like, you know how the game is. Shield, and armor are both their own like little health pools, but different weapons affect them differently. But your hit points is what's important, because you can have armor and shield all the way up, but if the hit points are 0, the ship is dead. So that's just something to keep in mind while you're coding this. I can't really exactly tell you what these are. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they help keep the ship from clipping, the model from clipping with everything else. I kind of just copied this from the Dragon Leviathan and just changed a few things around, but in a nutshell, I think this it has to do with the physical size of the ship. Fleet slot 8. This just helps you keep your fleets in order. The smaller the number, the farther in front it is, and the larger it is, the farther back it is. we're not going to deal with this in this tutorial, but we'll use it later down the line. Section slots, I'm going to use a locator, and the locator is mid. This is used for GFX modeling, for 3D modeling, but we're not too concerned with it right now. Number of target locators is 1. I cannot for the life of me figure out what this is for, but most of them have it either at 1 or like 4. Most of the in-game ship sizes have it at 0, but I'm going to just put it at 1. Is a space station? No. Icon, this changes the icon, so I might do a tutorial about how to do the icons later, but this defines what icon is used on the side of the ship. The Dreadnought uses ship size military 16. Might switch to that actually. Class, ship class military, and it helps the game AI determine what the function of the ship is. But since our AI isn't too robust, this one doesn't really have much of an effect, but it's still nice to have. And is designable? No. Can the ship be designed in the ship designer? So now we're going to move on to section templates, and you want to make sure that you know the name of this section slot, of any section slot you make, and the name of your custom Leviathan, or the ship size custom Leviathan, because these two are actually going to be important. I know I said we're not going to deal with this too much, but we are actually. So this is, you open up with a ship section template, and section templates are kind of like the framework that you can build your global ship design upon. So this will define like how many large, small, medium, strike craft, all those things, the guns. So this just says like, hey, all a section template is saying like, hey, there's a spot for a large gun, there's a spot for a fighter bay, there's a section for the utilities. And this is where this is all defined. So that'll help. Hopefully that like made sense, but I'll show you. So what we need for starters is this custom Leviathan, and in ship size it'll be custom Leviathan 01. The key for this section template, I've just named it custom Leviathan 01 section template 01, and fits on slot, and that will be the section slot. So you want the name of it, and it'll just be lock without any parentheses. And then, since we are going to have, I'm just planning to have 4 guns just to start off. So we will do, whoops. So we go down the list. So section, slot, large gun 01, template large turret, and locator name mid. And that will be this locator here. And I will, right now, we have in our so on the model, in the 3D space, there are kind of the equivalent of what are empties, if you know 3D modeling. And basically, the locator name mid just is where this gun will be made. So if you want to copy that a bunch of times, we're just going to do with 4 guns, and they're all going to be at mid. Large utility slots 6. These are things for like shields and armor go, and then the utility slots are anything or any of the utilities. So like if you want to have shield chargers or I believe afterburners, this is where those would go. So this is where you might want to keep track of things if you are making, especially like in a larger Leviathan. So what we have here is, what you need to keep track of is how many guns you've got, how many utility slots, and how many auxiliary utility slots, and you have to keep track of their sizes too. So if we had a small gun, we'd have to keep track of that. But for this tutorial, we'll just do 4 large guns, 6 large utility slots, and 2 auxiliary utility slots. And why this is all important is the global ship design. So you open up ship design with parentheses, and then name. This will be name. We'll do custom Leviathan 01. And then the ship size is the ship size we already defined, custom Leviathan 01. then you open up a new function of a section. Now this is like one chunk of the ship design, which we have defined in section templates. So you want to take this key and put it here, and we'll be using the same slot that we did from here. Or will it be this? I think it'll be this. Section slot, loc. Right, no, it'll be, yep. So this will be the section slot. So what, as you notice, we have our 4 weapons, so our 4 guns. And I'm just going to use gamma lasers. So the slot, this is large gun 01, and it's telling the game that, hey, in this section right here, in large gun, in the component slot large gun 01, we're going to have a large gamma laser. And it'll just do the same for all these. So in the component large guns, in the component slot large gun 02, I'll have a gamma laser, and that corresponds here. And we'll do that for all 4 of our gamma lasers. And then utilities, we have defined 6 utility slots. So I'm going to need to, what I like to do is just copy, so we'll just add 1 more of each. Large utility 5 and large utility 6. And what these do is they do the same thing, but for the utilities. So it says in large utility slot 1, we will have a large dark matter deflector, or a large armor 5, and these are just the neutronium armors. And then kind of the same thing for these auxiliary utility slots. It'll just be aux utility 1, we'll just have a couple shield hardeners. And then the required components are kind of the ones off to the side, and we'll use sensor 4, jump drive 1, sapient combat computer, dark matter reactor, and ship thruster 5, or Titan ship thruster 5. And that should be everything that we need. And the last thing you need to do is go into your solar system initializer and change the design from name alpha to whatever you've named it. So this will be the global ship design here. And make sure that you save everything. Let's see how it looks in game. And there it is in game. Look at it. If we check 4 gamma lasers, we could reorganize that a little bit, but yeah. So that is how you do that. So throughout this tutorial, I also talked about locators. So the section LOC is at a locator, which is mid. And besides that sounding like some absolute brain rot, this is actually a position in on a 3D model. It's kind of like an empty if you know about 3D modeling. But how would you find these things? Since we're using an already defined entity, there's a couple ways you can do it. You could go to Stellaris, GFX, the top folder for Stellaris, GFX, models, ships, and you could find any ship you want. So we're using the Fallen Empire 01, and I think it would be in meshes? Maybe. No, entities. It would be in entities. And somewhere in this would be a locator that you can use, but probably I don't know if that it doesn't always it's always not easy to find. So what you could actually do is just go all the way back to the top folder, common, and you could do section templates, and you could pick through. So if we're going through Fallen Empire, so it'll be Fallen Empire, section templates, and then this must be where I got it from. Let's see, fits on slot mid. So that's where I got that from. So yeah, that is how you would be able to find all these locators. But in the next tutorial, I'll just show you how to build your own custom GFX models. So that way you don't have to worry about this at all. But that's how you would find them if you want to use something. And that is how you make your own custom Leviathan ship design. Now, I know this tutorial was probably a little confusing, and that's just the nature of GFX modding. However, with a little bit of practice and some time, you can probably find something you like and figure out how the whole system works. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.